From the beginning to the promised land, stories of faith by God's own hand. Wisdom and wonder, love shining through, lessons for me and for you.
This is the story of Joseph, the son of Jacob and Rachel. Jacob, also called Israel, had two wives, Rachel and Leah. Through the deception of Laban, their father, Jacob married Leah first, though he loved Rachel deeply. Leah bore him many sons, but Rachel was barren for a time. Yet God remembered her, and she bore Jacob two sons, Joseph and Benjamin. And Joseph, the firstborn of Rachel, was dearly loved by Jacob. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a tunic of many colors.
Why him? Always him.
Yea, it's always him.
Yeah.
When his brothers saw that their father loved him more, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him.
Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves in the field, and suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around and bowed to mine.
Will you really reign over us? Will you actually rule us?
Yeah, will you? Then I had another dream. The sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowed down to me.
Shall I and your mother and your brothers indeed come to bow down to the earth before you?
His brothers envied him, but his father kept the matter in mind.
Look, this dreamer is coming. Come therefore, let us now kill him and cast him into some pit.
Shed no blood. Throw him into this pit here in the wilderness, but do not lay a hand on him.
They seized Joseph, strip his robe, and throw him into a dry cistern. They sit down to eat. Then Midianite traders passed by, so they lifted Joseph out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver, and they took Joseph to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the pit and saw that Joseph was not there, he tore his clothes and cried out, "The boy is gone, and where shall I go?" The brothers had sold Joseph to Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver, and they who him Joseph to Egypt.
We found this. Do you know whether it is your son's tunic or not?
It is my son's tunic. A wild beast has devoured him. Joseph is without doubt torn to pieces.
He recognized it, and Jacob tore his clothes, put sackcloth on his waist, and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and daughters arose to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted.
For I shall go down into the grave to my son in mourning.
Let's pause and learn from Joseph's story. Even though he was betrayed by his own brothers and taken far from home, Joseph chose to trust God. Kids, remember, no matter what others do, God's plan for your life is still working. Adults, know this: God can take the worst seasons and use them for His glory. Stay faithful like Joseph. He kept his heart pure and never stopped believing in the dream God gave him. The Lord was with Joseph, and he was a successful man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian, bustling Egyptian streets. Joseph is sold to Potiphar. Joseph found great favor in Potiphar's eyes, and he made him overseer of his house, and all that he had he put under Joseph's authority. The Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake.
Lie with me.
My master trusts me with everything in this house. He has kept nothing back from me but you, because you are his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God?
Joseph quickly pulls away and flees, leaving the garment in her hand. She screams,
He tried to force himself on me. See, here is his garment.
Though Joseph was falsely accused, the Lord was with him and showed him mercy. He gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. Even in prison, Joseph's character shined. He was placed in charge of the prisoners, and whatever they did there, he was the one who oversaw it. While in prison, 2 new prisoners arrive, Pharaoh's chief cupbearer and chief baker.
Why do you look so sad today?
We each had a dream, and there is no one to interpret them.
Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell them to me, please.
So the chief cupbearer told Joseph his dream.
In my dream I saw a vine in front of me, and on the vine were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, it blossomed, and its clusters ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, squeezed them into Pharaoh's cup, and put the cup in his hand.
This is the interpretation. The 3 branches are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your position, and you will put Pharaoh's cup in his hand as you used to do when you were his cupbearer. But remember me when it is well with you, and please show kindness to me. Mention me to Pharaoh and get me out of this prison. I was forcibly carried off the land of the Hebrews, and even here, I have done nothing to deserve being put in a dungeon."
When the chief baker saw that Joseph had given a favorable interpretation, he said to Joseph,
I too had his dream. On my head were 3 baskets of bread. In the top basket were all kinds of baked goods for Pharaoh, but the birds were eating them out of the basket on my head.
This is the interpretation. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift off your head and hang you on a tree, and the birds will eat your flesh from you.
Days pass. On Pharaoh's birthday, the cupbearer is restored to his position, and the baker is taken away and hanged. But the chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph, but forgot him. And it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh had a dream, and behold, he stood by the river. Suddenly there came up out of the river 7 cows, fine-looking and fat, and they fed in the meadow. Then behold, 7 other cows came up after them out of the river, ugly and gaunt, and stood by the other cows on the bank of the river. And the ugly and gaunt cows ate up the 7 fine-looking and fat cows. So Pharaoh awoke. He slept and dreamed a second time, and suddenly 7 heads of grain came up on one stalk, plump and good. Then behold, 7 thin heads, blighted by the east wind, sprang up after them, and the 7 thin heads devoured the 7 plump and full heads. So Pharaoh awoke, and indeed it was a dream.
Call all the magicians and wise men of Egypt.
No one could interpret the dreams for Pharaoh. Then the cupbearer remembered Joseph.
There was a young Hebrew in prison. He interpreted our dreams, and they came true.
Joseph was brought out of the prison.
I have heard you can understand a dream to interpret it.
It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace.
Joseph told Pharaoh the meaning, 7 years of great plenty will come, followed by 7 years of famine. The reason the dream was given to Pharaoh in 2 forms is that the matter has been firmly decided by God, and God will do it soon.
Let Pharaoh appoint a wise man to set aside food during the plentiful years.
Can we find such a one as this, a man in whom is the Spirit of God?
Then Pharaoh said to Joseph,
Since God has made all this known to you, there is no one so discerning and wise as you. You shall be in charge of my palace, and all my people are to submit to your orders. Only with respect to the throne will I be greater than you.
Years later, famine spreads across the land. 10 brothers travel from Canaan to Egypt for grain. Now Joseph is in his 30s, robed in Egyptian authority. Joseph's brothers came and bowed down before him with their faces to the earth, but they did not recognize him.
You are spies! You've come to see the nakedness of the land.
We are all one man's sons. We are honest men. Your servants are not spies.
Bring your youngest brother to me. One of you shall stay here.
Simeon is taken. The brothers return to Canaan and plead with their father. Eventually they return. The brothers return to Egypt with Benjamin. Joseph sees his younger brother and is moved to tears but hides it. He hosts a grand feast for them. Benjamin is served 5 times more than the others. Later, Joseph tells his steward to fill their sacks and hide his silver cup in Benjamin's. The cup was found in Benjamin's sack by Joseph's servant. The brothers tore their clothes in despair and returned to Joseph's house.
The man in whose hand the cup was found, he shall be my slave.
Please let your servant remain instead of the lad. If Benjamin does not return, our father will die in sorrow, for I became surety for the lad before my father.
Joseph turns away and weeps. Then Joseph could no longer restrain himself before all those who stood by him.
I am Joseph. Does my father still live?
The brothers were shocked and silent.
Do not be grieved or angry with yourselves because you sold me here, for God sent me before you to preserve life.
Then Joseph kissed all his brothers and wept over them. Afterward they talked with him. Pharaoh heard of Joseph's reunion and ordered Jacob and all the family to come dwell in Egypt. Joseph came to meet his father and fell on his father's neck and wept a good while. From betrayal to blessing, God was always with him. Joseph's story teaches us something powerful. Even though he was young, just a teenager, God gave him a dream. His own brothers turned against him, and many hard things happened, but Joseph stayed faithful. He trusted God even when things didn't make sense. Maybe you've felt forgotten, hurt, or left out, just like Joseph. But God never left Joseph, and He won't leave you either. God used everything, even the bad things, for good, and the dream God gave Joseph, it came true. So remember this, no matter your age, no matter your situation, God sees you. He has a plan. Stay faithful, keep believing, and trust that what the enemy meant for harm, God will use for good.